Welcome everybody and good afternoon to you all to our International Business Panel. Today we're very lucky to have Robert Aquilina, whose career has spanned general management, finance, operations on both the domestic and the international fronts. He's currently the Executive Vice President of Global Initiatives at Estee Lauder. We also have Harry Welt, who's an international property lawyer who back in 2000 decided to start his own consulting firm. He has many clients from many fashion brands. Mr. Watt combines his experience as an advisor with that as a chief executive to provide clients with solutions that deliver superior results. And finally, we have Mr. Kenneth Wise, who is president of licensing and public relations for Philips Van Heusen Corporation. Mr. Wise received his MBA in international business at Baruch College just a few short years ago in 1975. Additionally, he's a chairman of the YMA Youth Mentoring Association that provides scholarships and mentoring to college students across the country who seek careers in the apparel industry. Now I'm going to hand it over to our moderator, Professor Grein. Thank you.
So good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for coming. I'm sure you're looking forward to hearing what our panelists have to say. I'm going to speak without the microphone. Is that okay for everybody? Yeah? Okay, so what I'd like the panelists to do is actually just give us sort of a little description of their current position and their career path, thinking in particular what somebody who's going to be graduating soon would like to know in terms of practical advice and insights in terms of, how do you get from point A to point B, especially in the field of international business. And Mr. Wise, could I ask you to start off?
Sure. Can you hear me? Okay. I always tell a funny story that back, a few short years ago, 1975, when I graduated, those were the days of Studio 54. And so I used to go to Studio 54, and one night I met a very nice young lady there, and we had a nice chat, and then I ran to her again a few weeks later in a bar, and I said, do you remember, and I happen to remember names very well, and I said, do you remember my name? She said, I don't remember your first name, and I don't remember your last name. But she said, I remember your middle name was International. So I always wanted to be in international business. I think when I was in high school, I wanted to be a career service diplomat. I thought that I would like to work for the State Department and be involved in various countries, maybe being ambassador of a country one day. So I did. In my undergraduate school, I was involved in Latin American history and Latin American studies. And I was able, through some connections, to get involved with the U.S. Embassy. And I decided at that point that that was not where I really wanted to go. But I went to graduate school here. I studied international business and marketing. And everything just really took off after that. I worked originally for a company called Borden's International, which was a large consumer and industrial chemical company. I went to work for Gulf and Western Industries in corporate marketing, where I worked on many international projects. As a matter of fact, I actually even lived in Iran in 1978, 1979, setting up a global trading company there. Unfortunately, alas, it demised. But what I thought was interesting was licensing, which was this concept of branding and multi-branding and dealing with the creation of halo effect brands. And I got involved in the apparel sector of Gulf and Western, and then never looked for a job again. I was there. Then I got hired by a company called Jordache, and I was involved at the development of the whole designer jeans craze globally. And then from there, I went to a company called Liz Claiborne, and I worked in Liz Claiborne in the great days when Art Ortenberg and Liz Claiborne ran the company, and it was an extraordinary business. And then one day I got a call at Philips Van Heusen to come and run the licensing business. And at that time, it was a small business, meaning we did less than $1 million a year in royalties. And today we own Calvin Klein. Today we own Aero. Today we own Van Heusen, which is our flagship brand. Today we own Iza. Today we own GH Bass. And we're a multi-billion-dollar apparel conglomerate that has businesses all around the world. I do business in almost 95 countries in the world. I have 125 licensing agreements. And as my team says, in our position, we do world gardening. And we are responsible for the extension of our brands around the world, monitoring those brands, making certain that they are a consistent set of standards in terms of how we run our businesses globally. And it's exciting to come to work every day, because every day is filled with many challenges in the international marketplace. And it's exciting. So that's a brief review, but the international experience that I got here at Baruch was extremely important, both as a credential and as a mind-expanding experience in terms of my professors were pragmatic. They were people that were involved in businesses, and they helped to teach me how to not only be a theorist and an intellect, but how to deal with the reality in the marketplace as real-life experiences. So I'm happy to be here today and share my experience with you. Thank you.
Bob, I'd like to say something.
Yes, first of all, thank you for inviting me to this because, can you hear me, the mic? First of all, to me, Baruch means international. When I look at the student body here, to me, I look at international students, and that's why I like coming to the school. My background, let me just kind of give it to you briefly. You've probably read a little bit about it. I have a BA from Queens College, not Baruch, but it is the City University system. And I have an MBA from NYU in finance and in marketing. I started my career at GE and basically worked at a number of jobs in a training program going through all their divisions, and eventually went to Estee Lauder by accident. I didn't even know what Estee Lauder was. That was a great accident because I've been there for 30 years. Over those 30 years, my career has spanned general management, finance, manufacturing, administration, and running the international side of the business. I was the CFO of the company and then went on to general management to run international, Asia-Pacific, EMA, Latin America, manufacturing, and probably have been to 140 countries around the world at one time or another. There's very few places which I could tell you that I haven't been, and my goal is I want to get there eventually. I appreciate the cultures and people of around the world. To be effective in business, you have to understand them, appreciate them, but more importantly, embrace them. Bring them into you. That way you could be successful in business and understand it and make you know what you have to do. My current role, I've lived in London, I've lived in Paris, I've lived in Hong Kong, I've lived in Australia. So I think those experiences have not only given me business experience, but it's given me more people experiences and opening my mind and my scope of how people think, what they do, and how they live. If you could bring that into your business and your thinking, you'll be a better person for it. By the way, not only a better business person, but a better individual person. And I appreciate that. My current responsibility is I'm Executive Vice President of Global Initiatives, which doesn't sound like anything. However, it is something, I'm responsible for the restructuring of the Estee Lauder companies, be it strategic restructuring, capability restructuring, and cost restructuring around the world.